Yo, the Craftopia have just added the option to build your own island. Now I have covered this in the last video where I covered the latest update, but today I just want to look a little bit deeper into it and see what capabilities this really has. So here I am on the empty island. I am in a creative mode so we can just go crazy with it. And on my toolbar I have the two most useful tools in this, which is the landscape workbench, which is this one here. This gives you the option for all of the different terrain types and cliffs, all that kind of thing. And I also have the altar of creation. This is what lets you turn into a camera to fly around to place the landscape pieces down. So first of all, let's grab a bunch of different pieces and start messing around with them. Now the beauty about creative mode is I can actually go into the creative menu here. I can remove all of these and find the landscape workbench. Now I don't actually have to craft each piece, I can just spawn it into my hotbar. And there is a really nice range of builds on here. We've got all of the grassland pieces. You pretty much then have the same kind of pieces but as an island. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. I think it's just a different color gradient. You then have valley pieces, which are just like straight cliff parts. You then have snowy mountains, so basically all the same pieces but as the different biomes that we see out in the world. Then got the desert, of course, the miasma wetlands, and of course the volcano. Then we get down to some more interesting pieces, such as the Great Ring of Ruin. All of these kind of different ruin pieces, which are quite nice. I definitely want to take a look into these because these could be game changers when it comes to building bases and things like that. Especially things like these fences could be super cool for castle builds. We then have bridges, these stone towers, gazebos, all of these different things, including these Buddha statues, which we might mess around with because I believe there is some cool features that we haven't looked into yet. My personal favorite in all of this is these water blocks, and this is going to be game changing for multiple reasons. One, it now introduces the option to build stuff like an underwater base. You don't have to place these on the floor, you can place them a gap above, leaving space underneath to have a base, but then when you're above it will just look like water. You then got the waterfall and a bunch of different stones, just some cool kind of accessory pieces. But my main focus today is gonna be on, is this viable for a whole island build? If I wanted to rebuild the map of Seamless, could I do that? So let's start off with just grabbing a couple of pieces. We'll just grab a couple of these. Let's pick some random pieces like so, and we'll just see what we can do with them. Of course, we're gonna put the water in there. I'm gonna grab the Buddha statue, gonna grab this arch. Let's grab a pillar. I think that's kind of good for now. Okay, so then we would head into the altar of creation. And of course, this would be the same if you weren't in creative. You would just have to craft the pieces instead of just spawn them in like I am. So then you become this camera. Now, this camera is actually game changing in itself. And the reason for that is if I actually head to the creative menu, let's remove this, press show all, or just put wall, you can actually use this for building anything. This doesn't have to just be used for the landscape pieces, meaning you could build an entire base in a way better camera. Like, look, I can place pieces as far as I can see, which is game changing for big builds, especially some of the event maps we've built before. It was always a bit of a pain. So let's head into here and let's start by grabbing some pieces out. So let's start with this here. Nice cliff edge. I'm just going to place this one down so we can go and have a good look at it. Look at that. It's kind of crazy because it just now is a fully functioning part of the map. Now, I do have my grass turned off, so it's not going to look the best. Just a very quick side note, I actually decided to turn the grass on just to show you how it would look if the grass was on. But if I head up to the top up here, there's actually no grass on these mountains, so not sure what that's all about. I personally don't like the grass in this game, and it makes you lag like crazy. But this is nice. This is cool to see. Now, the cool thing is I can now pick that up with my rod as well. Boom. So it's literally just like building anything else we've ever done in the game. But let's try that piece again. So this time, if you notice the options we have down the bottom, we've got WASD to move around. We've got shift to move a bit faster. We can raise the camera with space. We can lower the camera with C. We can zoom in. We can zoom out. Exactly the same as a drone. Then we have switch controls, which we're going to get onto shortly. And then we have retrieve mode, which basically means when you look at something, it lights up white. So this is retrieve off. This is retrieve on, and it just makes sure that you're selecting the right thing. Switch to build mode, of course, takes it from gridlock to freeform, whatever you want, and then E to cancel. But the one I want to focus the most on is this switch controls, because if I hold my right click, I then have raise object, lower object, rotate, rotate back, change landscape size, which is going to be key here. Switch retrieve mode, switch build mode, those regular options. This giant piece here, for example, I'm going to put the default size right here, and you can actually place them on top as well, which is really nice. And as you can see, I can put them inside each other to make it even longer, although I will get onto a few features that I would like to see in the future. But if I hold that right click again, and now I scroll, it becomes smaller and smaller, and that's the smallest size. So let's rotate that round. I'm going to put that in front. Now let's go bigger, and let's put that next to it. Okay, let's go take a look. Wow, look at that. So we have this nice small piece here. These are all the same build, remember. The nice small size there. We got a big one here, and then look at the size of this. It's like a perfect base size. So there you go. Oh, did I just fall? Oh. Okay, yeah. We're not gonna focus too much on that. Okay, looks like we might need some fixes, but that is absolutely insane to look at. And we can do the same with these other pieces as well. So let's go and try it with the water. So this is a regular size water. I'm then going to hold the right click, and I'm going to go down to the smallest. Let's put one up as well so we see all the sizes, and then let's go bigger. Bigger again. Okay, so then this one's bigger. Okay, so that seems to be the biggest one there. Let's take a look at these. Gonna look a little bit weird, but look how incredible this is. Think about it. This could be a killing farm. This small. Or we go bigger. We go bigger again. Wow, this is really cool. And the cool thing is about these is if I walk into them, it just takes me up to the top like regular water would. It does also mean if I hit them with speed, I can touch the floor. It would have to be quite a lot of speed, but it does mean that technically if these were raised off of the floor, so let's try that, and then we press space to raise the object, although it is currently hidden behind action place mode, so we could kind of do with that changing. But if I put that down like that, I now have floating water. It does look a little bit strange when you're not inside it, because it is completely see-through, so you're just looking at what the sky sees. But there you go. So it would take a certain type of build. Oh, it thinks I'm under it. Okay, interesting. Gonna take some messing around with for sure. But like I said about the killing farm, I want to put this to the test. Let me just spawn in some glass walls, and let's go like this. A little bit tricky, but kind of nice to build with. And then we're going to grab the water. Okay, so I can't put the water in second. Can I put it in first? I can. So look at that. That is so cool. It does slightly lip over, but I don't think that will matter too much. So now let's go breeder. And let's just grab a cow. Now let me place this breeder on the top. Which is interesting. It doesn't share the same water kind of movement that regular water does. If you've ever placed a breeder on top of the ocean water, you'll know it goes up and down. It causes big problems. This one sits perfectly still. So let me throw the cow on. Let's just see what happens here a second. Okay, so there goes the cow. Oh my goodness. So now let's go chest. Just grab this and absorber. I'm gonna gridlock it. Okay, let me try that. Oh my god, it's pulling it down from the top. Alright, so it might need some slight adjustments. We got a little bit of stuck leather up there, but it does make its way down. Oh my goodness. So basically, if you've learned any automations from this channel, or you've built your own automations, forget it. This is game changing. This changes absolutely everything. This really does. Let me take the glass off. Can that just balance on top of water? Let me put it here. Oh my god! I mean, that's probably not the best because the cows on the breeder will take damage, but you do not need walls to support it. So let's go and put another cow on, and let's see how it behaves with this. Okay, so it does run out. Let me spawn in some quarter walls, and I should be able to build possibly the smallest killing farm ever. I mean, awesome little hot tubs. This is so cool. Okay, so now let's go breeder. Get rid of that water block a minute. Wait, how is that floating? Right, I'm just going to clear some of this behind it just to make this easier for us. Let's then gridlock it. What's happening? How is everything floating all of a sudden? All right, let's just give it a go. I want to try some green monos here. Because these guys should fit perfectly in there. Wow. This is so game-changing, it's crazy. I know it might not look like it right now because we've always had the option for water, but one of the difficulties we've always had with water was water does good damage. But if you want to get more farms per, you know, thing where they're killed, like little killing hole, you had to use the big pot, the big cooking pot, because then the mono can fall into it, then it can heal mobs under it and above it. But the big cooking pots don't do much damage. But now, you can just use the water instead of a cooking pot because you could place the water in the middle. All right, so keep an eye out because I am going to be deep diving farms on this more. But let's head back to this. Let's not get ourselves carried away here. I do want to just spawn some more water a minute. Because let's go, switch controls, max size, lower object. Look at that. That's beautiful. That does seem to be the lowest I can make it. But now let's take this a little step further. Let's go this. In fact, let's put a couple more of those in. Max size, lower. Okay, we're going to have to change the gridlock here. Oh, building with this is so nice. Look at that. How beautiful. So now let me go into here and grab, let's grab a little mountain. Let's make it as small as we can. All right, that's maybe not the best one to use. That's a little bit better. So place it down. Now, how realistic is this? Look, you would not tell the difference if this was a real part of the map or not. This is so well made. Pocket Pair really have cooked with this. And then if I wanted to, I've just had a crazy idea. Imagine a zoo build. Because now, for example, I can bring a mob on, place him on his own little island, block him in with some glass. Yeah, you get the idea. Wow, this could be really cool. Let's deep dive this a little bit more. Let me go for... Now, one thing I did notice is if you select these glass pieces or any other regular build piece and you switch controls, you do not have the option to increase the sizes, which is a bit unfortunate. Would have been super cool. But you can place breeders down, which you can lower and raise. Kind of crazy. Chests, lower and raise. That's kind of it. It basically just the same as regular building. But let me go for something like this, because these are gigantic. What if I make them tiny? That's not that small. I'm not a big fan of this raise and lower object. I kind of wish if we take it... In fact, maybe it does. If we go to free build... Ah, there we go. So you switch it to free build using the switch build mode. Then your raise and lower is not by a grid. Makes total sense, me being dumb. Then we can just place this up here. Look how cool that is. Oh, the arch. Let's put an arch with it. Oh, that is so nice. Look at this. I'm telling you now, this is possibly my favorite thing Crafttopia's ever done. In fact, I think it's by far. That's so cool. Like, I know it's nothing special, right? But this took me 10 seconds. Imagine if you sat here and actually put some detail down. Which brings me back to what I said earlier about I want to mention some pieces that I would like to see. Some features I would like to see. First of all, I think this landscape workbench is great. It's a great start. Things like these little small stones, fantastic idea. But we need more. I would like to see trees, even if we can't chop them. It is what it is. But trees, flowers, different types of rocks, maybe different types of pillars and builds, and, you know, overall just some more landscape pieces. But I think the most important pieces, which could be game changing, is you notice how the sides of these they're like regular mountains, right? Like they have all the little notches on the side. I would like just a terrain piece that is potentially like this water, where you can place down one square at a time, attach another square, and it's flush. Because if I was to come over here onto this piece here and select this, I'll make them small just so it's easier to see. If I was to put one here, I kind of can't put another one in without having that little lip. Oh, they're off the floor. Like, it works, right? It works great. But it does, it kind of sits flush. But you can see it's not quite, right? Like, it's so close. But if I was to do this across the whole map, I feel like that's unnecessary terrain because I don't need the inside parts. If I select this, if I put this here, I do not need all of this inside, right? I would just need the outside, but it could create unnecessary problems where performance is concerned. But super cool. I really like it. All right, let's grab some different pieces. Let's go this little ring. That's pretty cool. Let's grab a pillar. Let's grab a gazebo. Let's grab a bridge. Let's grab a waterfall. Let's grab this little house. Regular size of the house. Little baby house. Gigantic house. This is so insane. I can't believe I'm just casually building this. Oh my god, I didn't know it was going to be that big. So small. Oh my god, it's going bigger. Oh my days. You could build a dome. Look how cool that is. Good lord. Why is it so gigantic? Let me see inside this big house. I mean, here's your base right here, right? Like, if you're not very good at building houses, don't worry about it. You can have Squidward's house. All right, pillar. Look how awesome that is. Oh, wait. This is game-changing for obstacle courses. Wait, what if you do biggest size and then lower? Oh, little platforms. Oh, I got an idea. It may not fit perfectly, but there's potential here, right? But this is really cool. Yeah, we might have to bring back the events after all this. All right, so here we have a gazebo. I'm gonna give myself some space here. Let's go standard gazebo. Oh, little baby gazebo. Oh, I put them all off the floor again. Oh, look at that little baby gazebo. Why did I put them off the floor? Make this so much more difficult for myself. All right, what about the bridge? Okay, bridge. All right, let's just go full size. There we go. There's the different bridge sizes there. All right, this looks a little bit more normal. This bridge is tiny. Looks a little bit more normal. Can I also put that in the floor? Okay, so you'd have to switch the build mode on this one. Bring it down. Oh, Pocket Pad just kissed me. All right, let's try this with the waterfall. Oh, that is so clean. That's so cool. So can I go tiny? We could be looking at fish ponds here. This is, my brain's like, get fish. Oh. Wow. I know this is so random, but my brain is looking at it this way, right? If we can do things like this, then we can make tiny little fish tanks. Not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect, but you see my brain working, right? You see it. It doesn't work well, but it's working. And all I'm thinking is, could this be the smallest killing farm in the history of killing farms? Is it over for the old killing farms? Don't you look at me like that. All right, what else we got? Give me a tree. Give me a tent. Give me a ruins stave. Give me ruins bee. Little tree. Oh. Oh, it's massive, but it's also invisible. Yeah, there should be a tiny one. Yeah, a little tiny one. Gigantic. Oh, that didn't look like it changed much. Okay, tent. Tiny little tent. Giant tent. Oh, they're actually kind of cool. I barely call this a tent though. But, you know, we can now have a circus. Tiny disc, big disc, bigger disc, bigger disc, big disc, ginormous disc. Ooh. Okay, it gets so big you can't walk up it anymore, but never mind. Kinda cool, kinda cool. And finally, let's check out this ruins B. Tiny ruins, bigger ruins, gigantic ruins. Whoa, that actually looks sick. It's a little bit iffy. It kind of works. Look at this though. What an entrance for an event. Honestly, look, I don't even need to say it. Big, fat, round, pointy, spiky W for Pocket Pack. They've completely cooked. Oh. Now I need a dog. Give me a dog for my little dog house. Absolutely insane. Honestly, such a good update from Pocket Pack. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Like, now and then, I might give Pocket Pack too much credit with some updates, as some of you let me know in the comments, I know. But you can't say that about this. This is one of the best things I've seen in so many different survival games. They've never done something like this. And this is just the start, I hope. Another piece I do think we need, I got distracted earlier, sorry, is, which will change everything once again. I love this little water block. Imagine a lava block. Imagine a lava block plus automation. GG. But there we go. Such an awesome update. Seriously impressed. I am going to be spending a whole lot of time doing this, messing around with it, seeing what I can build, see what this is going to mean for automations. And it could be that I have to remake every automation because none of it is relevant anymore when I can just place down water. But let me know what you think. Is this an update that you will personally be checking out, or are you on console and you still hate Pocket Pack for not giving you the update? Either way, please do let me know what you think of this update. Please do drop a like and subscribe, join the Caztecx Discord, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace!